Let's go! So obviously in the NFC, you have Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray. But after that, you can make a case that Brock Purdy is the next in line when it comes to dual threat playmaking ability, right? First thing here is on this 3rd and 2, it doesn't look like anything is open here. He does have a somewhat decent pocket, but you do get some bull rush here from Jaron Reed. But at the same time, you get Trent freaking Williams putting 55. I mean, this is really, really, really good stuff. Offensive lineman off to say pass blocking is not passive. You see, he gets his hands on him and says, I'm just going to throw you out of the club right the frick now. That is absolutely nasty. And that exceptional play allowed Brock Purdy to break this contain really easily, right? That's why as an end, the one thing you don't want to do is leave your feet. And you'll see that 17 flies in here, and Brock Purdy does a good job evading him, right? He is really good at changing up your angles when you go tackle him, and he's wiry, and he could pick up first. Obviously, the guy that you can make a strong case has been the MVP of the 49ers offense has been Jordan Mason, right? Christian McCaffrey, don't know what's going on there. Trent Williams, once again, doing what he does best, opening up a massive gaping hole. And all Mason has to do on this pitch play with zone blocking to the left is just make guys miss. And he not only makes one guy miss, he makes two. All right. And now it is off to the freaking races. He cuts back here to gain extra yardage. And man, what a freaking player he's been. And man, how many NFC running backs have been better than him, right? Kamara, obviously, and Saquon, but Mason has just been that guy all freaking year long, and you love to see it. All right, let's talk about this Brock Purdy rep. You know, some quarterback coaches would tell you to read the smash here to the bottom. So if the corner bails here, you don't want to throw this football to Brandon Aiyuk. Some would say you should still throw this, but in the NFL, that's probably covered. You can, play two ways here. And all you have to do in this situation is just read this corner. If the corner bails out, throw it to Deebo right at the sticks, okay? But Brock doesn't like to do it. Give the corner some credit for being, steadfast right there. So now Brock is having to roll out to the left. Once again, it helps having Trent Williams here. And then he does eventually see Jawan Jennings right there, and he does throw it up. Camera a little slow to react here. And take a look at this ball location. Bang! For the first down. All right, so let's talk the Deebo Samuel touchdown. I mean, this was the biggest play of this game. So play action fake. I know it's a little pixelated, this all 22 copy right here. And basically, this is them just picking on this corner out of a tight alignment. So this is kind of a switch-ish release. So Aiyuk is going on the go. Samuel is allowing Aiyuk to go on the go, and he fall in right behind him. And what you're hoping here is this corner runs with Brandon Aiyuk here, and the safety get depth on Brandon Aiyuk as well. And that is exactly what happens. Corner is slow to react right here, and this is how Deebo was open. You get the play action. We'll pick it up here. Once again, good protection from the 49ers. And you'll see some people feel Brock viciously underthrew this football. There is pressure in his lap. Okay, and he does want to give himself more room to get this off. But, could he have set his feet and thrown this sooner? Yes, this ball does float in the air quite a bit here, but Deebo adjusts to it. Safety makes a tough read on it, and then it's off to the freaking races. So a lot of the national media, it's like, well, it was just a play design that opened it up. This is another case where Brock had a ball that was almost intercepted and thrown late. And all those things are true, but I also think on this play, it's not as easy of a throw as people are making it out to be. Could it have been cleaner? Yes, but I'm fine with how it looked. All right, so this play right here is all design, right? Obviously, you give credit for Brock for making this throw. This is just so unfreaking believably nuanced right here, okay? So you're in this tight personnel grouping. It's a 12 personnel look. But, man, this is just Great, great, great stuff. So you're running a vertical with Brandon Aiyuk, and then you're running a dig right here from Deebo Samuel, okay? So all of this is covered. I mean, Aiyuk is covered. This dig is also covered. But the good thing about it is you really have to respect the verticality of these two receivers. And if you want to sit back this far into coverage on 2nd and 10, the perfect thing to run with it are leaks from your tight ends underneath, okay? And there's actually 3 different checkdowns here that Brock Purdy can throw, okay? So you start off with the leak right here from the tight end, and number 1, the running back right here in the flat is open for a huge gain. Number 2, Kyle Juszczyk is open right here for a nice gain of 5 or 6, and then George Kittle is open. And the good thing about running these kind of leak plays when you're running verticals is all these guys are just keeping drifting with the verticals. And their initial thought with these tight ends is that they are staying in to block on a max protect to hit the deep shot, right? When in theory, yes, they are blocking, but they're actually really, really potent receivers as well. And because this corner, and the corners all night for Seattle, kind of like on the Deebo touchdown, they had been really pinned in on these verticals, right? And because of that, that opens up all the space over here. So this, honestly, is just really good play design. You see Kittle even took a look back right here at Purdy, and he's wide the frick open for an explosive pass play while he's getting hit, okay? Good ball location for Brock. Kittle did have to wait on it a little bit, but he was able to catch it to get upfield for a nice gain. All right, I really love the All-22 next-gen broadcast on Amazon Prime. So let's talk about this play. Once again, it really is good design. So you get the pre-snap motion to indicate potentially if this is man or zone. Obviously, it can still be a variation of man, but you can also potentially see this as a zone coverage, okay? So Brock Purdy is over here looking to the right side, and man, this is just really good quarterbacking right here, okay? Could this ball have been released a half second sooner? Yes, because this is just so open, and you can see with the alignment of the safety that you know this is going to be here. But Brock Purdy does wait a half second long. You'll even see him do a little pump right here, steps up, and then fires this in to Kittle. Even see a little ball pat right here, okay? So because it was just a tad bit late, and this is such a long throw to Kittle, the accuracy has to be really freaking good. And guess what? This accuracy is as good as you will ever see it. Kittle, toe tap beauty. It's a tutty, baby. All right, and let's give you this angle to show you the ball location. Man, oh man. And then George Kittle. It's amazing. He is as good as a blocker as he is, and then is also able to toe tap. I mean, there's just not many of these guys breathing on the planet Earth that are as complete as a tight end as him, man. It is a thing of freaking beauty, and the Air Jordan cleats just add to the drip, baby. All right, so this is going to be my most negatively graded Brock Purdy play, okay? This is not a layup. It's not easy, but on 1st and 10, they call something wonderful, okay? Play action fake. This is when all the momentum is shifted, okay? So you got to try and seize it back. You are only up 6, so what do? Well, you run a gimme, right? You know something that's going to work. Play action. You know if you have man coverage that Brandon Aiyuk's going to beat his man on a deep over. And here's Brock Purdy right here. It's there. I mean, this should be tossed, right? Your feet are set here. Toss it, all right? But then he pats, as you can see, that Brock Purdy pat, and he waits and then makes this throw even more difficult, right? He leads him way too far right here while also having to deal with the potential hitter, and you'll see he misses Brandon Aiyuk for a pretty nice one, and that's frustrating if you're Brandon, okay? All right, it's 1st and Burlingame after a penalty here, and this is some ridiculously good quarterback play, okay? It ends up being a very simple throw, but once again, this was after the 49ers got stopped and then punted and then got the ball back, okay? A safety really flips the momentum. So Brock Purdy is looking to the right side, and nothing is open. Could this be thrown? I guess in theory it could to Brandon Aiyuk, but it's going to be very contested. So Brock Purdy says, look, I'm actually going to scan full field and trust my offensive line to make a play. And guess what? He doesn't throw it to Deebo. Instead, he works all the way back to his leaking fullback right here while avoiding Jarran Reed, who eventually broke through. And it ends up being an absolutely massive gain. Now, of course, on this scramble drill, it looks like Aiyuk is open over the middle. That broke late. This is really elite quarterback play right there from Brock Purdy, and they eventually did pick up the first down. All right, so we get to this 1st and 10. This is really good quarterbacking from Brock Purdy, okay? Deebo Samuel went out with an injury, so I mean, if you're going to get this football to Brandon Aiyuk, you got to throw it with a lot of anticipation. Look at when he's ripping it. We'll give you the end zone angle to make it look even more impressive. This ball is thrown. A missile hits Brandon Aiyuk. He does have to bend down a little bit for it, but he does hit him in stride. And now Aiyuk gets a chance to make a guy miss. And he does. Can he make a second guy miss? He cannot, but it's still a nice explosive game. And you'll see it right here, okay? Like Kirk Herbstreit draws it up. If they're going to sit in too high or middle of the field open coverage, you want to work in breakers, okay? But you'll see when Brock is throwing this. I mean, look at this. Really good stuff. Throws it right into that window, hits him right in stride, okay? Now, when he throws it, this ball does have a little tail on it. Does he have too much weight on this front leg? That does cause the ball to tail. Not a QB mechanic expert by any stretch of the imagination. I know as shorter quarterbacks, you throw off your tiptoes more often, okay? Kind of a jerky release right there, which causes, I think, this ball to dip. I don't know. QB experts, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I probably am. So we get to this 3rd and 9, and this is kind of a tough spot, right? You have the backup kicker. Jake Moody can make a kick from here. I think if Jake Moody was kicking it, you would have had more deep stuff because you feel more comfortable kicking from this distance. But you'll see that the 49ers actually run all slants, right? So slant here from Aiyuk at the bottom of the screen, and there's also a fullback here, and then you have a slant here, you have a slant here. Now, Mike McDonald is obviously one of the best defensive play callers in the business. He overloads this side of the line of scrimmage, anticipating that there might be slants being thrown here. But I want you to see how exotic this coverage actually gets on the back end. Okay, it looks like this is cover 1 robber. Instead, they do go into basically cover 2 man. And, well, Brandon Aiyuk is open. You probably wouldn't have guessed that pre-snap that was going to be the case, all right? So Brock Purdy decides, hey, I know I have man-to-man out here. Let me just work the double slants here to the right side. This is weird to me because as 49er fans know, you lost the Super Bowl basically on this play because Brock Purdy decided to read outside in, okay? The way I understand it is slants are supposed to be run inside out. And especially in this instance where I can get the football to my better player right here, I would prefer you throw this, which is a shorter throw once again to one of my better players. Instead, he throws this thinking that this corner was definitely for sure going to be running with Deebo. Instead, he throws a hospital ball here. And guess what? Alligator armed. This looks like a bad alligator arm. It really isn't. At least you touched it to where it wasn't going to get picked off. And, man, it's just not great quarterbacking there at all. All right, 49er fans, give me your grade of Brock Purdy in this game. It did help Geno played his worst game of the season. We do end, though, on a bang. Bach fakes to the right here. Then he works back to the left. You have a little out and in right here from George freaking Kittle, and it's abso-freaking-lutely nasty route. Juke that guy. Really good ball location right there, and George gets his 2nd of the night. All right, so linked down below is actually a Twitter film study Fred Warner made, maybe the best linebacker screen tackle I've ever seen. So go on ahead, give me a follow on X at Carter the Power, and we'll talk to you soon. It is Power Hour NFL. Boom! And tonight we are doing lemon pepper chicken wings. Let's go.